to have everybody online tonight for the New Currency University call. We are talking about digital currency, what it is, what's in it for you, how it works, how you can profit from it. And as you can see, we've got people from all over the world that are going to be sharing some stories. Exciting night. Great having everybody online. But go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know where you're dialing in from.
Hello, Beverly, Washington, Santa Monica, California. Hey, everybody. Woohoo, Onecoin.
Welcome, Beverly.
Hey, Tom. Merle from Lebanon, Missouri.
Merle, what's happening?
Not much.
Hello, everybody. This is Montez from Seattle, Washington.
Hello, everyone. Bob Sager from New York. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, welcome, Bob.
Robin from North Carolina.
Deanna Long, Washington.
What's going on, Tom? Kevin from California.
Welcome, Kevin. Remember to mute yourself back after you introduce yourself, folks.
Deanna Long, Bellevue, Washington.
David Neal, Morrisville, North Carolina.
Rosalind Trey in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the call.
QLA FM 99.9, Northern California.
It's Robert Gray in Lancaster, Texas.
Miriam in Toronto, Canada. Hello, everyone.
Wiley, Charleston, Illinois.
There he is. Dallas is in the house.
Amber Rose, Long Island, New York.
How you doing, Amber?
This is Lucille from Sherman, Texas. Good evening, everybody.
It's Pat Cooper from Houston, Texas.
Floyd Vicky from East Texas, Lake of the Pines.
Welcome, Floyd Vicky. Great to see you.
Digna calling in from LA.
Nicole from Las Vegas.
Pat in Houston.
Okay. Eric Brett from Los Angeles, California.
Benny here from New Zealand.
Barbara from Lehi, Utah.
Eric McHenry, Eric, Oklahoma City.
All right, everyone. Well, that is the roll call. You can see we got people from all over the world. Great to have everybody online. A strong North American crowd tonight, but I know we've got Anguilla covered, and we've got definitely, let's see, New Zealand, Australia, New York. A bunch of those crazy people from California. They want to become their own country already. You can be president, Digna. I think you're going to be either Secretary of State or President. Dr. Anna, I don't know. Maybe what are you going to be? The Finance Director, is that Secretary? But great having y'all online. We're going to be talking about digital currency tonight. Ultimately, what it is, what's in it for you, and how you can get started. We do have a very, very special guest online that I'm excited about. He's just an absolute powerhouse in the industry. Been traveling internationally, and we're going to give him the floor tonight for a little bit to tell you what he sees going on around the rest of the world and just all of the success that he's having in his organization. One of the fastest diamonds in history of our company, and really cranking it up and doing big things. He's probably got more frequent flyer miles listed in the last. Oh, yeah, somebody says, "Where's my picture?" Sorry about that. But there I am. So anyway, just got back from the gym, so didn't have a minute to freshen up there. But I'm excited to be here with you, and you know, tonight is designed to be a real casual, fun meeting where we get together like this 7 times a week. I know you can't believe it, but we love sharing stories. We love shedding light on topics about digital currency, sharing the success. People's lives are changing, folks. They're changing for the better. People are getting wealthier. They're having more free time. They're working from home, and they found a business. They found an industry that they can really sink their teeth into and wrap their minds around. Because, I mean, what is the one product that everybody wants? I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants more wealth. They want more time freedom. They want the ability to, you know, spend more time with their families, be stay-at-home kids, you know, stay-at-home kids. That's me. I'm a stay-at-home kid. But no, they want to be stay-at-home parents, you know, stay-at-home dads. And I just love what we're doing. It's, you know, people really want a better quality of life. And that's one thing that we're seeing digital currencies providing, because, you know, we're working with a currency that's actually working with us instead of working against us. And I don't know if you know what that means, but I've been working for the last 30 years, and I've seen my currency lose over 40% of its value. And, you know, you may say, well, Tom, that's not a big deal. How do I know? And I've had people say, well, how do you know it's lost 40% value? And I goes, because my gallon of milk has gone from $1.90 to $3.80. And last time I checked, it does not cost more to produce a gallon of milk than it did 40 years or 30 years ago. And so, you know, I think a lot of us have been sold on this inflation model, but what we don't realize is, you know, it's not our food products are going up in price. Our cars aren't going up in price. Heck, they're getting so efficient in producing cars, they could do them a lot cheaper. But what's going up in price, what's actually happening is your currency is going down in value. And I just try and wake everybody up to that. I'm like, how would you like to have a currency that actually appreciates, maybe like Apple stock, you know, or how would you like to have the ability to have a currency that doesn't work against you? And I think one of the great visuals is an escalator. When you think of an up escalator, and you know, retirement's at the top of the escalator and you're at the base of the escalator. You know, if you're going up that escalator, do you want it going against you, or do you want to be working with the escalator? And I just tell people it's pretty amazing to see how many people are out there are fighting for a currency that is actually working against them. And I got into the digital currency business back in 2011, you know, when I purchased my first Bitcoin and had an opportunity to see really great appreciation. And so I guess I haven't appreciated, when you get a lot of appreciation in your currency, you tend to have appreciation for it. And I guess when you have a lot of depreciation in your currency, you have I guess you have a lot of depreciation about your currency. But I'm super excited about what we're doing here. We've got people from all over the world. We've got an awesome system, you know, to introduce people to what we're doing. A lot of people don't realize it, but we very simply share videos with people and we say, hey, check this out. We've got something that's really awesome. It's creating wealth for people. And, you know, we've got a great educational platform that we're helping people learn this. And I just tell people, I say, you know, going back to like 1990, and I always tell this story because I think it's so profound and I want all of you to be able to tell this story. But, you know, Tim Berners-Lee, he didn't create, you know, he didn't create TCP IP, which is the technology that makes the internet work, but he brought it to a consumer level. You know, when it came out of ARPANET, a government agency, he figured out how to connect computers so they would communicate with each other. And that was the advent of the World Wide Web. And, you know, so much innovation we've seen because of the internet and how it's changed our life has just been incredible. But prior to 1990, the internet was not possible. Why? Because a very profound, very significant technology did not exist. And, you know, I look at what we're doing with blockchain-based technology, which is a new technology that now exists because of a gentleman by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, who published a white paper in 2009, and he said, I have discovered a software that we can send money to each other without using a bank. And I'm going to do that with you tonight. I'm going to prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt that I can send money to somebody anywhere in the world without using a bank. And that becomes a very, very big deal. And I want to talk about Blockbuster here in a minute, Blockbuster Video, because I think the Blockbuster Video is very, very applicable to what we're talking about with the banking industry. And I just tell people, I say, you know, when you look at the ability to do bankless banking, what an exciting thing, because 74% of people right now distrust and dislike banks, you know, and that just makes it very ripe for disruption. If I can show you a way, my wife and I were comparing accounts the other day of setting up some new bank accounts, and one bank was paying like 0.05, and that's like 50 cents interest on $1,000 for the year. And the other bank was paying $2.50. And so I guess I should go with the bank who's paying $2.50, right? Wrong. I'll put my money in cryptocurrency. Thank you very much. And I'll watch it be worth, you know, $2,000 or $3,000 a year from now. That makes a lot more sense to me. But it's just a joke what the banks are paying us. And then, of course, they're getting it back in fees left and right. And, you know, at the end of the day, when you put your money in the bank, you're actually losing money. I mean, it's it might be safe. You might think it's safe, but I can tell you that we've got a real challenge right now financially, our country, and the banking industry is not making it easy for anybody. But I'm going to be chatting with you a little bit about digital currency, and I just kind of want to give you a breakdown real quick and help you understand the framework of what you're going to learn tonight. And then I'm going to bring in our special guest, and we're probably going to delve into a few slides, and we're going to talk about mining. But I think what's more important for our special guest tonight is that he talks about how to build this business. I think that's one of the greatest things that we can get from him is what's he seeing out there in the world? What are people doing it? I mean, he's hanging around with people that are making $1 million a month in this industry. And he's rubbing shoulders and rubbing elbows with some of the biggest players in digital currency. And I think it'd be real important for us to sit back and listen to what he is seeing that's actually working out there and how people are growing their business. But let me do this first. Let me give you a little bit of framework, you know, about what we're talking about tonight, so you can understand why all these people, and we got 102 people on here tonight from all over the world that are checking this out. And it's because it's very exciting, it's very lucrative, and it has all of the attributes that you're looking for, folks. It's something that is just, it's like hitting the sweet spot of home business. Number one, look at all of you. You're sitting at home, you know, you're hanging out with your families, and you have people that you've introduced to this call. They're on here, they're sitting at home, and they're getting an education on something that has been called by Don Tapscott, the greatest single revolution that you're going to see, technological revolution that you're going to see in your lifetime. And that's a pretty bold statement, considering we've seen the internet in the semiconductor. And so just to finish up my thoughts about TCP/IP, the internet, and how it wasn't possible before 1990, I want you to know that what we're sharing with you tonight was not possible before 2010, because a lot of you have heard of Bitcoin. Bitcoin came out and it proved the model. The world laughed at Satoshi Nakamoto when he said he proved a way to do bankless transactions, but he actually did it, and the software worked, and it's been a huge success around the world today. And I'm just excited that we get to be a part of the industry, because honest to God, I have been praying for an opportunity to come along as big as the internet again. I've been praying for an opportunity where we could make the kind of money that we made in the 90s as fast as we could make it. And I got to tell you, this is one of those industries, folks. It doesn't matter how fast you can run. There's going to be people running faster, because this is a very, very, very exciting industry for all of us to be in. But let me go ahead and hit screen share, and I'm going to bring up a couple slides real quick just so you know what our special guest is going to be referring to. But the presentation that you're watching tonight, we call it the Protocol of Prosperity. And I really like that name, because a protocol means it's a system. We have a way of doing things, okay? And it's a strict way of doing things, by the way. We want you to become successful, so we want you to do what we're doing, okay? You know, McDonald's is kind of like our way or the highway, and Burger King's, remember their slogan, it was have it your way. Well, McDonald's was bigger, you know, and we kind of like the our way or the highway kind of system, because we want you to be successful and do what we're doing to create incredible wealth. But prosperity is a very cool word. I don't know if you've ever looked up the definition of prosperity, but prosperity means a state of success. And the challenge that I'm seeing most people right now is they're living in a state of mediocrity. They're doing mediocre things to create mediocre results. And we want to share a way for you to create a state of success like we're creating. And I think if you all had a choice, if I said, which one would you like to have? I think all of you would choose a state of success. And I'll tell you that the effort to create a state of success requires the same amount of sacrifice as it does to create a state of mediocrity. And you might challenge me on that. You might say, well, Tom, I don't quite agree with you. But I will tell you the sacrifice of knowing you can't pay your power bill at the end of the month, that you can't buy the groceries that you want, that your kid's not going to the school that you want them to go to, that you're not driving the car that you want to drive, or the tires on your car may be unsafe because you can't afford to get new ones, you know, that you're complaining about health insurance costs because you just simply can't afford it. You know, things like that, folks. You know, that's what I call sacrifice. And knowing living in a state of mediocrity is a tremendous sacrifice. And living in a state of success is like bliss. It's fun. You like, don't worry when the month is, the end of the month is. You know, it's like, oh my God, 31st is coming. I don't really care if it's the 5th, the 7th, the 12th, or the 21st. Doesn't matter to me what day it is, because the bank account's full and we're excited and we're having fun and bills are paid and we're living debt free and we're helping other people create wealth. And that's ultimately what we're talking to you tonight about. And digital currency is the product that's making it all possible. But we have a system that generates wealth, reduces expenses, and creates time freedom. You know, a lot of people get into an entrepreneurial opportunity and they end up working, they quit a 40-hour job to work an 80-hour job, you know, and that's not what we're about. I mean, I tell people, read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week. I am constantly striving to make the 4-hour work week a reality. I don't want to work 30, 40, 50 hours a week. I want to go, like tonight before this, I was at the gym with my son, my 15-year-old son, who's 6'2" and 200 and something pounds. I mean, the kid's just huge. And I like hanging out at the gym with them and cutting up and having a good time. And, you know, when a lot of people are at work, you know, and can't spend time with their kids. But I designed this system because I live out on a farm too. And I don't want to drive into a hotel meeting. I live an hour from Atlanta, and the idea of driving round trip in Atlanta traffic, that's like 2.5 hours every meeting that I'd have to go to. And every time I had to go meet with somebody one-on-one, it would take another 1.5 hours in traffic. And I'm just not about that. You know, I want to live a life where I can pull up a ZOOMCAST like this and connect with 130, 140 people around the world at one time. And I want a system I can plug into that I can leverage the talent. I'm so excited to be online with our special guest tonight, because I'm going to be learning tonight. Listen to this guy go Mach 3 with Mach 5 with his hair on. I can go Mach 3. He's going Mach 5. But it's just going to be so cool. But we do this presentation 7 times a week, and it's designed for you so you don't have to do the explaining, the training, or the enrolling. If people see this, and either they see it or they don't see it. And if they don't, there's not much we can do to help them right now. And honestly, there were people who couldn't see the internet when it first came out. When I was running around showing people and educating people on internet and email, and some people said, you know what, none of my friends have it, why should I have it? And actually, some of you tonight will look at digital currency and you'll go, none of my friends have it, not many businesses take it, so why should I have it? Well, hopefully you don't have that small mindset. We're looking for people that have that glass is overflowing mindset. That's like, when you hear that the biggest technological revolution of your lifetime is getting ready to occur, open your mind as wide as you can to get this, because you could create more wealth for your family in the next 3 years than you created in your entire life in this business. And we're seeing people that do that. I mean, it's happening to people. Okay, so it's not just talk. We're walking it. I mean, there are a lot of people walking it, actually. But all we want you to do is join the cryptocurrency conversation. We want you to open your eyes to it. and we want you to really understand it and get educated, because education creates the awareness, and awareness allows you to see the opportunity. But it's action. You're going to have to take action. We can't do it for you. As I say that, you are responsible for success. Nobody's going to do success for you. And you're going to have to put down the remote control, and you're going to have to pick up the mouse, or you're going to have to pick up the smartphone. And instead of clicking channel buttons, you're going to have to be clicking buttons to invite people to this presentation. And that's the only difference. It's the same amount of energy. One creates success, one creates mediocrity. And, if you take that action, you have the opportunity to seize the opportunity. And I'm sure Ed's got a training, the difference between seeing something and seizing it. But I'm excited to hear what he has to say about seizing the opportunity, because this guy, he's out there just crushing it. And I mean, he is like, he's riding lions, and somebody got a hold of the marker on the screen. Put down the keyboard. Don't there they go again. All right, I'm gonna have to cut you off if I see you do it again. Be careful. I'm good at this. All right, but I'm gonna clear all the drawing. Okay, now take your hands off the keyboard. There we go. Good. I can see you. I know who you are, just so you know. They're like freaking out right now. Like, what? I really can't see you, but if you wouldn't mind not marking up the presentation, I'd appreciate it. Really, just let me do it. Here, I'll do it for you. Does that help you out? We're talking about cryptocurrency. See that? All right. But anyway, action allows you to seize the opportunity, and we're going to be talking about seizing the opportunity with a very, very exciting gentleman online tonight. And let me just jump to a couple more slides so you can understand. Let me clear that drawing. There we go. Isn't that cool? We can draw on the screen. But I'll figure out how to cut that off. But let's just look real quick at the business. I tell people this way, Ed doesn't have to cover this, but we market education on new currency, folks. People ask me, Tom, what do you do for a living? I say, well, I market education on new currency. I show people how to mine new currency or create new currency. That's where the real opportunity is. That's where the real wealth is made. And we introduce businesses to new currency. We're showing businesses how they can start accepting digital currency. And also, we inspire people to build portable businesses. And I'm real big into lifestyle design, folks. I tell people that don't let your work style determine your lifestyle. Let your lifestyle determine your work style. How many of y'all like that plan? How many of y'all want the lifestyle determining your work style? Well, I love that. But our goal is to show you how you can live where you want to live how you want to live, and create wealth doing it. And I know my friend here, he loves to travel, and he knows I love to travel, but I'm going to be doing it on a catamaran sailboat around the world, and living an incredible life, circumnavigating the world and connecting with all of my friends internationally and everybody that I've met all around the world, from Bernie in New Zealand to Haley and Don over in Australia. I got people in Puerto Rico, got people in the Philippines. I need to build a team in Indonesia because I definitely want to sail there. I'm excited about Indonesia as well. It's beautiful there. But as we get into this, folks, I want you to know there's 3 divisions to our company. There's OneLife, which is the social networking community of investors, advocates, and educators. We are educators of bankless banking, and we show people how to become investment bankers or miners of digital currency. My term is investment bankers because, to me, investment bankers, these are the people who create capital. And that's what we're doing. And we're creating capital with a technology that is as simple as buying something on Amazon. So don't think you got to know alphas and betas and zetas and wetas. You don't have to know any of that stuff. You just got to know how to put some digits in a box and hit submit. We also have Onecoin, which is our digital currency, the largest cryptocurrency in the world in 2 years, fastest growing company in the world. We got 2.6 million members. We're growing at 150,000 people a month, and we've got our own digital currency that has created over $10 billion in worth for our members around the world. And I just think that's very exciting. But this is a cryptocurrency. This is not a government issued currency. And as our community grows to 10 million people, we're projected to be at 10 million people at the end of our 3rd year. There's going to be companies knocking our door down trying to get access to our community. You think about big companies like Procter & Gamble and Alibaba, and all these different companies out there that would love to have access to a 10 million person community that is focused on cryptocurrency and conducting business around the world, that are entrepreneurial. How would you like to have access to a community like that if you had a product or service to market? I know I would. But we have a mobile app builder. So you say, well, Tom, how can my business start taking digital currency? Well, we've got a mobile app builder. There's all kinds of ways to take digital currency for your business, but this is going to be the #1 way in the world. We will have more vendors accepting digital currency at the end of our 3rd year than Bitcoin has taken 8 years to accumulate. So got a very powerful community, a lot of great things going on. But you know what, folks, our core product, I call this the one thing that we do better than anybody is we have an innovative e-learning platform that covers a broad range of financial topics as it relates to digital currency. It's a 6-level program. You can earn certificates in it. It's very cool. And we have some of the top leading experts that have put this system together. And it is designed for people that know absolutely nothing about finance. So it starts at 101 and works your way up through 601. And you have the ability to earn while you learn. And I think that's just one of the most exciting things that we have going on. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a break from the slide presentation, and I want to bring up a superstar. I want to bring up a bona fide superstar, somebody that's just going around the world connecting with people. He's built businesses, folks, and created incomes that would just blow your mind. And I'm so excited to have Ed online with us tonight. Ed Hartley has been a leader in the direct sales business, and he is just, he's changed so many people's lives. And I know that tonight what he's going to say, if you will open your mind and sit back and listen to the words that this guy has to say, he might trigger something into you that will absolutely free you from that state of mediocrity and give you the ability to generate massive success. But everybody get a thumbs up to Ed Hartley. It's so great to bring online. Ed, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm here. I'm back.
You're back. Hey, do you actually have a home in Atlanta now?
You know what? Let me tell you something. I changed rooms from the last time we recorded a session, just so you guys realize it's not like just this backdrop, you know? I literally have watch. I even have a whiteboard up there. See, a whiteboard.
That's awesome. Hey, so yeah, I know you've been traveling like a wild man. I know I've been in a whole bunch of countries, but you got me beat by the fourth power. But great to have you online. Tell us, give everybody a little background on yourself. If for those that don't know you, what's your experience?
I appreciate that, but before I even do that, let me just start by saying thank you, Tom. I appreciate you so much, and those people, we've got folks on from Kenya, Malaysia, Nigeria. We might even have South Africa on. I don't know. We just sent out a blast. When you and I were talking earlier, you know, I was in the Caribbean. So I just sent out a blast.
Work done down there, I'm sure.
I just sent out a blast and said, hey, I'm hanging out with Tom McMurrain tonight. People are like, okay, it's 6 a.m. where I am. I'll do my best to get on. But I want to thank you, and I count it a pleasure to consider you a friend. We've known of each other from previous experiences, but in this opportunity, getting to know one another and to watch each other work. I'll tell you this, anyone who's here for the first time or for the 100th time, it doesn't really matter. But the ability for me to go and do what I do around the world is because there is a Tom McMurrain that has put the anchor of this system in place. And I'm so appreciative of you that folks can plug in and have something that they can hold on to. My biggest challenge right now, Tom, is figuring out how I'm going to get from point A to point B. And I don't know if you saw it on the internet. It was kind of crazy this last weekend. I was scheduled to be in 2 countries and 2 different continents at the same time. I don't know how that happened, but you know, the fact that you said you can reach everyone this way, I think it's fantastic. So my hat is off to you. I thank you. And I know everyone doesn't really, okay, we got some people from Trinidad and Tobago on. I see that as well. I'm just kind of reading along. But
hey everyone, list your country in the chat. Go there and hit. If you're from another country outside the United States, go ahead and type in there so we can see where everybody's from. That's always all kinds of fun.
Awesome, awesome. But yeah, my background, I'm really a forensic accountant. I was a numbers geek in the first part of my career, and never knew never knew what I was going to be when I grew up. You know, I was a guy sitting behind a desk crunching numbers, and somebody said to me, hey, you know, you might want to consider going into this other direction and start talking to people about, hey, Robin from South Africa, I knew she was here. I knew she'd be here. But I just said, let me just reach out. And, you know, network marketing was the avenue by which I could really learn more and bring different aspects of my training together. I feel like, I said this when we were in London recently, I feel like I was born to be here at this particular time because all of the different aspects working with PricewaterhouseCoopers in the tax department, and then moving over to Ingersoll Rand in their tax department, overseeing $7 billion of revenue from over 800, I rounded up to 800 different divisions in all the different countries around the world. I never knew what all of that number crunching was going to come together and offer, but I saw things years ago which made this entree of digital currency so perfect for me and for us at this time, which is why I go crazy. I mean, literally, if I could move at the speed of light, if I had the ability to be like Spock and I mean, he predicted where we are. I mean, nobody ever saw Captain Kirk or Spock or Scotty with any cash, right? Nobody ever saw those guys. I mean, they knew we'd be here, but if I could just move and be places day by day by day, I would, because the world knows what's going on. And I'm so proud of you, Tom, because we've been allowed to experience a degree of comfort here in the United States that has, to an extent, made us a little bit sluggish. Not sluggish from a standpoint where we don't get it, but not enough of us see it. And you're doing the job of really 7 times a week driving the point home that people figured out over in Asia. You're talking about China and the Philippines. You're talking about Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, India. They get it because of the things that they've seen and what they understand. So, you know, the build in a lot of these countries is probably, sorry guys, the build in a lot of these countries is probably a lot easier, I think, from a standpoint of they recognize something has to be done slightly different to the comfort zone that many of us, i.e. 401k, i.e. Pension, retirement, Social Security, those type of things have afforded us here in the United States. So it's exciting to go places where people are like, hey, I get it. I want it because this is cutting edge.
Yeah, I'd have to say that we have too many opportunities in the United States, and we're kind of numb to what we see when something comes along. But when I was over in the UK and in Ireland, the one thing I noticed is most of those were immigrants that had been in the country for less than 10 years. And all the guys that I met were diamonds, were hungry, and they wanted this opportunity and they were willing to work for it. And I think people, you know, that I'm seeing that I talk to in the States, they have like 8 or 12 different payment options. They got hit with a network marketing company every week. And they just, you know, but I loved seeing how those guys, and I mean, it was so funny. I come back from Ireland. I met with over 1,000 people in like 2 days. And then and Dr. Safar goes, we have one more meeting to do at 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, who the heck's going to meet with us at 1:30 in the morning? There's 38 people at the McDonald's waiting for me when I get there. And they're all enthusiastic and they're fired up.
I sure hope he took you to that Turkish restaurant that he took me to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I went to 2 nights in a row. One group took me there, and then the next night we went to the other one. I was laughing. One with the OneCoin logo on it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and what was cool about it is as soon as I leave there, push the Uber button and the car comes and gets me.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That lets you know, I mean, things that people didn't realize would really come to fruition and become what I think is cutting edge. I mean, we're sitting on the forefront of what is the future. And, you know, there's so many people here that you may not even realize it, but I had to stop what I was doing. And, you know, some people ask me, well, you know, you were the VP of sales of a company, blah, 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 and you were a blue diamond at this other company, blah, 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 and that was good. It was all good. But see, this is something different. This is what you said earlier, Tom, and I'm going to piggyback on it. Well, let me give you 2 examples of what I know I missed. I missed the emergence of the internet. Okay, well, I can think of a lot more, but because of our ages, you know, we have a lot more that we can look at what we missed. But the emergence of the internet, I missed that. I didn't get in front of that whole .com. I participated, but I didn't become one of the people that made the .com become what it ultimately is today. And secondly, the one I really regret is the fact that I didn't buy Bitcoin earlier than when you and I sat in that Starbucks and we did my first Bitcoin transactions.
Yep.
Yeah, and you remember it was at about 500 back then?
Yeah. I think it's going to 4,000 to 12,000. I think it's taking a lot. Don't wait.
But people don't understand, and then that's unfortunate. But I look back at my thinking while I was educated, while I was professional, while I was involved and actively building an enterprise. The thinking was somewhat narrow when I thought about where some of these companies that are now billion-dollar companies have gone. And I remember, you know, when I was it was in the 80s, okay? The bottom line was in the 80s, 1980s, when Microsoft was a NASDAQ-traded stock. It was a penny stock. And those guys went on to become billionaires, okay? Those guys went on to become billionaires. And I think there are some people on this chat tonight. I don't know what the number is up to. You know, we should really push this number to hundreds of people and then hundreds of thousands of people tuning in to hear about this information, because it's going to get like that one day. But to realize that there are some billionaires that are on this line already. And if you're not thinking that way, shame on you, because one day you're going to look back and say, well, okay, maybe I got some coins. Maybe I got a starter, or I got a trader, or I got some good education, but I didn't really take it as seriously. I didn't put my foot forward as way I could have. And there's going to be a little bit of regret, because you'll see some of the names popping across. You know, here's Digna from over there, and I see the name on my chat, because, you know, I'm in your chat group as well. I follow, wherever I am in the world, I follow what's going on. When Joby makes comments, I mean, I'm right there, and I stay in touch with about 10 other chat groups, because we've got to keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on. This is new age, and that's all it's going to take, is us really knowing we've got to do this and build. So I encourage anyone that's listening right now, don't take this thing casually. If you pick up anything from me, my daughter asked me tonight, we just got in, and I dropped her off at her. You know, I'm so programmed. I get get out of the airport, I jump in my car, and I'm riding. And she says, Dad, you are going to take me to my apartment, right? Because I was, my car was headed to my place. And she's like, you are going to take me to my, I said, yeah, my bad. I got a shortcut I'm taking. But we're going to get to a point, and she asked me, don't you get homesick? And I said, I do at times. I miss my home at times, but the challenge and the task at hand is so very great. And I think for everyone who's here on this call, if we got each and every person that logged in tonight as dedicated in our geographic, what I would consider your sphere of influence geographically, wherever you can influence people. I've chosen to make my globe my geographic influence, but wherever you can geographically influence, make it your point. Make it a commitment that you go out there and impact the world, okay? Because the adversaries or the opponents or those who say this will never work, and all you got to do is look at an article that just came out about a CEO of a bank, and I'm not going to call the bank's name, but you know, you guys can go do your own due diligence and find out that though in his country, Bitcoin, which is the grandfather of this particular industry, has been outlawed, and every negative thing you can think of has been said, or rules or governances have been put in place about it, yet the CEO of the largest bank in that country is a holder of Bitcoin. that kind of tells you something, okay? Don't be left out in the cold, and don't let your friends and family get left out in the cold. Nobody's going to be able to say that, well, you know, Ed, you got in this thing, you made a couple of $1 billion. Look at me, Tom, when I say that, because I didn't slip. I didn't say $1 million. I said, you made a couple of, my friends are going to say, you made a couple of $1 billion. Why didn't you tell me about it? You see, I don't want to carry that burden. So I make sure I go everywhere and tell everybody, no stone unturned. You're going to have to tell me no.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell Ed, you know, I've told everybody, I've moved from the convincing and selling business to the caring and sharing business. And I think it's so important that we need to care enough about people to tell them about this, that you heard the saying, you know, grab them like a light stick and shake them till the light comes on. A glow stick, you want to shake them like a glow stick. But I think it's very, very important that everyone understands that you may have missed the internet. And I tell everybody, if you got in the 90s, you profited from it. But if you waited till the 2000s, you probably didn't profit from it. You probably paid for it. And the same thing's going to be true with this business. If you get in early, you have the ability to create more wealth probably in the next 3 years than you've created in your entire lifetime. And the numbers are staggering. And Ed, I know that you know finance and all that, but to see 4 companies in the history of our country that have done $1 billion in revenue or $1 billion in market capitalization in less than 36 months. You remember the first one was Groupon. And then, of course, we've got Onecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. 3 other companies that, so 75% of the companies that have done $1 billion faster than any companies in the world, 3 out of 4 of them are in our industry.
Exactly.
That's a wake-up call right there. But I like this.
Everyone won't see it. Everyone won't see it, Tom, and that's the thing, you know. We can count on.
Why is that important to me? That's the question people are going to ask. Why is that important to me? It's like, what do you mean? Why is that important? It just means you're at the right place in the right time, and you can get involved casually in this thing and probably make some money.
Yes, that is true. That is so true.
But I was thinking,
I know you wanted us to talk a little bit about building a business.
Yeah, but before we get in, let me mention one other thing. And I also want you to recognize some of your leaders as well. But you know, time is insignificant tonight when we got your wisdom online. All right, so everybody's here for the duration, and they want to hear what you got to say and all those golden nuggets you're picking up out there in the field. But could you imagine, Ed, being involved, going back to the internet prior to Amazon being launched, and knowing that there was only like 7, I think before Amazon launched, there was like 7 or 8 companies that had $100 million market caps in the internet business. And dang it, there's Sherry got the screen sharing on. Hold on one second. Sherry, keep your hands off the keyboard, please. But let me come back here and grab that back. There we go. Anyway, let me stop that. And we're back. Rule number 2, cancel the screen share. But that's all right, Sherry. We'll forgive you that time, but keep your hands off the keyboard. But no, I think just to know you're in a time right now where we can be involved in something so early stage, and knowing that probably within the next 10 years, there's going to be hundreds of billion-dollar companies in this industry, hundreds of them, if not thousands, because there are thousands of them in the internet industry. And I'm so happy to be here. But let's jump into building a business and what you're doing. You're seeing what's working out there, but give us some golden nuggets on what's going on.
Well, you know, it's fairly simple, and I've always liked the concept of keeping it simple. And keeping it simple, just got to show it, okay? Good friend of mine over in Thailand, he talks about a ratio of, for every 20 people, you should be able to find 2 that it'll make sense for, okay? It'll just make sense. And again, you're talking about quality people, and I like to use 4 categories or 4 criteria to identify who are the people I'm going to talk to. Number 1, and very important, let me emphasize, very important, they got to be teachable and coachable. The second, they have got to be self-starters, okay? People that are self-starters are going to be folks that might, you know, do some big things as long as they are dedicated to our mission. Next is having influence, and last but not least is having the financial capacity, having money to to get going. And that's what it really comes down to. I look for those things, and I don't spend a lot of time. And I'll be very honest with you, Tom. Everyone who's part of my group, they see me using 4 particular steps to promote my business, and I'm doing it every day, multiple times. So if you think of the statistic of 20 people, 2 will get started. How many times can you show the plan to 20 people? How many times can you expose, or how many people can you expose to get to that 20 per day? If it's 4, great. If it's 20, great. Whatever you're willing to commit. But it's the age-old problem in this particular industry that people spend more time trying to convince the guy who just doesn't get it for whatever reason. And I don't. I believe in sifting and sorting. So anyone who I meet, I immediately begin to sift and sort. If you do meet the criteria that I talked about, that you're teachable and coachable, how do I know? I can tell. If I ask you to do something and you don't do it, then that says probably you're not teachable and or coachable. Okay, so there's some simple things that people can do to determine whether the prospects that they're talking to are teachable and coachable. First of all, the second thing is they've got to be self-starters. Okay, well, I was waiting on you to call me back. That's not a self-starter. Okay, someone who sees the information says, "Whoa, wait a minute, I get this." They're going to call you back. So there are times that I want to look for people, and when that person says, or I might just throw out and say, "Hey, listen, I'm glad we had a chance to catch up, but I sent you that information. Tell me what you like most." "Well, I really was going to get back to you, but I was waiting on you to call me." That's a ding, ding, ding light bulb that tells me something. Maybe they're not that person that we're looking for. The next one would be, they have influence. What's interesting? I learned this a long time ago. Everybody has influence. But gentlemen, don't be offended, but women have more influence than we do. Yes, tip your hat, everybody. The woman in your life or the women in your life have more influence than you do. It's an inherent, innate ability for them to be able to influence. And let them do it, okay? So people have influence on all levels. So, a woman says, "Well, I am new to this industry, but I have no influence." Yes, you do, over a certain category, a certain group, a certain facet, a certain aspect of the marketplace. Can I teach you to elevate your influence? The answer is yes. Last but not least, if you don't have any money, the beautiful thing about our comp plan, which I'm sure Tom will go into shortly, is that whether you have zero money or a little bit of money, that won't stop you. But as long as you do have capitalization, then you can participate at multiple levels. And that's how I like to build. So I'm sifting and sorting. I never discard anyone. I never discount anyone. They have to discount themselves. So I'm constantly seeing who I'm going to give my time to. As you can imagine, with a calendar like mine, and an already existing team. You see a bunch of people here. We've got Catherine from Nairobi, I see here. I don't know if everyone's even chiming in. I see a couple people from Nairobi here. I called out Robin from Nigeria, from South Africa. Amarachi, I know, is here. He's a brand new sapphire out of Nigeria. I don't know if Shah from Malaysia, brand new sapphire out of Malaysia. These are new markets that I'm going to start building new diamonds and even blue diamonds in those markets. They have to qualify themselves, show themselves as people who want it, okay, who are not waiting for me to come bring it to them, because they have to take advantage. Tom, one of the things you may not realize, I left here on a Thursday night, okay, at about 8 o'clock. And I flew 28 hours to get to Malaysia on a Saturday morning, their time, to work there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and midnight Tuesday. I'm in the airport to fly back here 24 hours to then go to another country to be with some folks, only to know that the folks I just left behind not only went sapphire, but en route to ruby this month. Yep. That takes all of those criteria. But then you have to be willing to give them the effort and give them, the information. And, I'm not a believer in dragging dead donkeys up hills. I'm looking for stallions, because there's going to come a time that any and everybody who wants to benefit from this opportunity, they'll come around. People ask me all the time, so what do I do about this guy? And his problem is, well, number one, if he has a problem, maybe he's not our guy. Yeah. He only has this problem. Well, why does he have a problem? Because, see, oh, you mean because this little quirk has encountered? Did anyone ever think of how many times when Steve Jobs was rolling out the Mac, how many times publicly it crashed? I mean, publicly.
Yeah. Imagine it privately. Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from, right? But when you stop and think of, if you haven't been in an emerging market or emerging technology or an emerging company situation, of course you may have some reservations. Of course you may have some inhibitions, okay? Someone asked earlier to talk about my background as a forensic accountant and what I went to every country I could find and I could get my hands and I met people and I talked to people and I looked at the economic conditions. I looked at the money conditions. I looked at where the emergence. I looked at a graph to see where of the 3 billion unbanked, and it's less than 3 billion, but I round up, okay, just in case you thought I don't want to say 2.7 billion people that are unbanked. Well, when you see where they are, how they're living and what they want, and you realize we're providing the opportunities for these people to have solutions. Yes, we're cutting edge. Yes, we're a little bit off the grid. Yes, we're pushing the envelope. Yes, we're taking some of the status quo of the financial services industry to a whole nother level that is less profitable for them based on how they've designed it. Now, I have to always remind myself, Edward, don't be antagonistic of them. They have the right to earn money, and I don't want to. I always say I'm a contrarian. I'm not an anarchist. I'm not trying to create anarchy. Banks and financial institutions have the right to make their money, but they do not have the right to control it all. They do not have the right to gouge us while controlling the strings on what's available. So when you have the ability to create a technology that allows us to go peer-to-peer without banks, of course they're going to protest. Listen to me. They're getting 15% on an everyday transaction easily. I can show transaction after transaction how this thing goes on. I mean, Tom, I got to be honest. Where I was, I actually was in a casino last night. Ooh, Edward was in a casino. I'm a hell of a blackjack player. You wonder why? Because I know numbers. So I took foreign currency because I'm not going up to the exchange. Okay, I'm not. But I took my foreign currency that I had been walking around with. I took it to the window, got chips, and then went to the table, parlayed my money, and then changed it over for US dollars, dollar for dollar. You're not going to get me to play that stupid game of my bank. I went to my personal banker a few weeks ago with some of that same foreign currency. They wanted to take, when the price of the euro to the dollar was for every euro $1.10, I'm sorry, $1.11, they wanted to give me $1.03. That's 8 cents per dollar. Yep. per euro, pardon me. And I was giving them 2,500 euros. That was easily 200 bucks. Woof, 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 just like that. Oh, I got money to throw away like that? No, I don't. But
we had a bank wire situation today about $46,000 euro bank wire. And the bank, the exchange rate, I typed it in. So well, banker, I'm online right now. It says the exchange rate's $1.06. She goes, oh yeah, but our bank charges $1.11.
Well, watch this. Watch this.
5 points.
Watch this. So here I am. I know the bank rate is $1.06. The casino gave me $1.03, but I made $200 on that same $100.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, do what you must. But understand that the economic trend, and I'm not saying if you're not good at blackjack and you're not a good number, if you don't understand the skills of that particular game, don't go out there and try to do that, okay? And I can tell you, I can teach people. People ask me all the time, Tom, so can you teach me how to do this? Well, I took my 20-year-old daughter, her first time at a casino. She sat next to me. I taught her. First night, she made 75 bucks. Second night, she made 100 bucks. She says, Dad, I took 3 days off of work. Do you know how much it would take me to work to earn what I just earned sitting down next to the table? I said, yeah, baby, but don't do that without me. But see, Tom, people don't really understand how numbers and money works. And that's the piece. When you can literally have the confidence and to understand what you know compared to what other people know, and that what you have to do is bring the points very clearly and concisely to the surface. I mean, you see it, you don't. Because let me tell you something, if I had the opportunity to go back when I was sitting in 1984 and I was betting against Microsoft, I was betting against Microsoft and I was betting on IBM. Why? Because I lived in Westchester County, which is right near Armonk. Okay, I was in White Plains near Armonk, and Armonk was all of IBM territory. You see, I was betting on my sure thing. But what do we hear about IBM today? What do we know about Microsoft today? Look at Paul Allen. Look at those guys. Okay, so you know, it's a massive movement here, and I think the people in the United States and in other friendly neighboring countries need to really just get a real grasp on what we have here. And as I was telling Carrie, the European ambassador, it's a fight. And I'm fighting. You know, I love looking at gladiator movies and 300 and, you know, Spartan movies. I love watching that because that's the kind of fight we're in. We're in a fight, and I'm in this fight for life. I'm fighting for life because someone's financial future will be affected probably tonight by hearing what we're talking about. And again, I'm not knocking banks. Everybody, every business, every institution has the right to make their money, but so do we. And I believe that we are captivating the attention of a lot of people now to say, well, hey, we can do some very incredible things. Just keep exposing people. This one doesn't get it, next, let's move on. This one doesn't get it, next, let's move on. Because sooner or later, your evidence, your experience, your success will be enough for everyone else to say, wow, maybe I should come along for the ride. And I think that's important to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll label it, you know, I tell everybody we've got our kind of our wussy to warriors training that we do. And it's just like, you know, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way, but a lot of people come in with fear because they don't understand this. And then when they do a little bit of education and they see the smart money that's in this business already, and the big companies, they move into this believing stage. And then when they actually start doing it and they start, you know, creating some wealth with it personally, they move into that knowing stage. They're like, wow, this is working for me. I know this works. And then I guess when you get to a level where you're at and where I'm at, where you're out there actually helping other people make money, you enter that conviction stage. And that's where the gladiators come out. That's where the warriors come out. And, you know, I just tell people, if you're looking for a business that you want to swing a big sword and you want to go out there and create more wealth than you could ever imagine, if your dreams are still alive, folks, this business is it. And you don't have to have a forensic background. You don't have to be an internet guru. You just have to be somebody that says, I want to learn something new, and I want to play in this ocean. This isn't a pond. This is an ocean. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're so right there, Tom. And to give some of the people an understanding, I mean, I still always talk about the education is important. It absolutely is. You need to have the understanding of cryptocurrency, understand money, understand what we're playing with. You need to have the base that you've created here, Tom, and you know what people can connect to and hold on to. But don't get it wrong. You must also learn how to get out there and do what it takes. I mean, do whatever it takes to expose the right people. And I talked about those 4 steps, which you're in one of them. Let me walk through what that is. And the first is the exposure stage. Okay, our company has put together such a simple. You know, I use the newest of the versions of the future of payments. Okay, the one that's combined. It combined the Thailand event plus the 90-second video plus the 16-minute presentation of the future of payments. So it's all about a little under 20 minutes. And that's my first step towards really qualifying someone, whether we need to have a conversation beyond, hey, what are you into? You see, when someone asks me, what am I into? I can talk about digital currency. I can talk generically about world economics. I can talk generically about all the different things, especially like I'm in different countries, about the exchange rates and all the different things. Okay, we can talk generically about that. That does not make that person a prospect just because they engage in that conversation. Number one. And that's the first thing you got to learn. That does not qualify them as a prospect. They are still a suspect. They may be engaging to an extent, but there's a suspect. The exposure of that information now tells them, hey, I see what you're talking about. So this is what OneCoin is. Okay, so this is what the digital currency is. So this is what the vision of your company. Great. I know after that you have a lot of questions. So we have follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So you must follow up. Now, my follow-up is very simple because, again, you can only imagine time is of the essence, okay? So I'm exposing with a video. I'm following up with a video. I choose to use Ed Ludbrook because he's probably one of the most proficient and one of the most effective in terms of answering a lot of the questions about what, you know, the real nuts and bolts. You also have Tom McMurrain, but if you're part of this engaged environment here, maybe you want to use someone outside of Tom McMurrain, because what I use in the third category, the third step, is the validation, which is I lead everybody to this Zoomcast. That's where Tom McMurrain comes in, because now you've got, let me look at it now, 126 people or so on this Zoomcast at 11 o'clock Eastern time over in, it's 8 hours ahead over in Kenya, 7 hours ahead over in South Africa, 6 hours ahead over in Nigeria. You get my drift? 13 hours ahead over in Malaysia. So they can check out the Zoomcast, or they can watch the recorded version of it and get the validation. And last but not least, the fourth is the engagement with your upline. That's what I call the three-way call and the three-way contact. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't ever want to sit down and spend a whole lot of time. Tom mentioned it earlier. I mean, seriously, we live in Atlanta. You know what's so cool? And I'm not trying to give away your location, but because you and I know where you are, you're an hour south sometimes, and then you're an hour north sometimes. You're never in the middle. I happen to be right in the middle. At the wrong time of day, you're stuck. You can't get anywhere, and you're killing time. I don't have that type of time to invest in a suspect. I want to engage and involve my time with people who have gone through the qualification. They know what it is. I've exposed them. They know what it is. They've had the opportunity to get their questions answered through the various videos we have out there. They've had a chance to get some experience and some credibility, some validation through this Zoomcast. And they've had a chance to speak upline. If I'm the upline, then you get to speak with me. Do you know how cool it is if you're sitting in Trinidad and Tobago to then do a Zoomcast with your, and it's 9 o'clock at night, and you're doing a Zoomcast with your upline leader who is in Malaysia, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're looking over the shoulder, and they're like, is it morning time where you are? Oh yeah, I happen to be in Malaysia. Well, that lets you know it's not a rinky-dink, Mickey Mouse, fly-by-night type of situation, because if leaders are connecting to people all around the world. My personal sponsor is in Holland. You're talking about Dr. Zavar, our good friend over in London. He's 5 hours ahead. My sponsor is 6 hours ahead. We could be talking about Kerry, our international ambassador, and most of the time he's 7 hours ahead. Does that make sense? So to be able to do these things actually translates into better use of your time. So Nicole is asking, oh, I'm sorry, no, you're commenting. Okay. She's commenting about the suspect and the prospect analogy. Guys, don't. You know, it's like in the war, they said, don't, wait until you see the whites of their eyes to shoot. Okay. Why are you going to invest your time? Okay. Why are you going to invest your time? My time is valuable. Okay, I have an 18-year-old, soon to be 18-year-old little sweetheart who's on spring break right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Thanksgiving break, and I'm on my way to go hang out with her, play some pool, and maybe eat some wings late at night. Maybe having a little upset tummy because we're hanging out because we can do that right before Thanksgiving. I'd rather spend my time that way than to be chasing around searching for answers with a suspect who has no real interest but just likes to hear themselves. Okay, maybe I am being a little too, all right. I think you get my point, right? Some people like to hear themselves, be obstinate and antagonistic about certain things they don't believe in. Oh, you don't have to say it twice. I get up and I'm out. Great, you're not the one. I know what I'm looking for. You don't resemble it.
Yeah, there was one guy that said, he says, you could have a million reasons why you don't want to achieve success. Just remember, it only takes one. So don't waste any energy creating two, because you don't need to. All you need is one. But I will say on the flip side that it only takes one dream to want success. And it takes one why for you to be able to go out and go realize those dreams. And I know you've got it with your children. I know I've got it with mine. But somebody asked me the other day, they said, Tom, why do you drive so hard? Why do you have so much passion in your voice? Why are you so committed to this? And I said, because I'm scared to death of mediocrity. I'm scared to death of it. I just can't do it. And I want the best for my children. I want the best for my wife. I want the best for my family. I want everybody I'm working for. I'm just scared to death of mediocrity. And I tell you what, every single one of you need to look in the mirror. And if you're living a mediocre life, you need to look at it and say, I'm scared to death of you. And I need to run from this. And maybe that's what I'm running from. But I think everybody has had those tough times in life where the power's been shut off, their car's been repossessed, their credit cards have been canceled, their insurance has lapsed. I've been there. I've seen all that. That stuff scares the death out of me, Ed. And I just can't go there anymore. And
hey, you know what? You just said something that made me remember the night I was in my house and the tow truck was picking up my SUV, and it was grown man with children sleeping in the room next door, and I'm running outside saying, hey!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I think we're both definitely on the same page, and I want to thank you. I'd love for you to take a minute and just recognize a couple leaders. If you've got some leaders out there, I could either put you on it. You want to take over host for a minute and grab some people?
Let me see here. I have no idea who's here. Well, I got to shout out my good friend. This lady, she was so surprised that I remembered her. How can I forget you, Miriam? My little red Canadian cowboy hat. Thanks to you, Miriam. Love you much. But let me see who I see here. I'm sure there are folks. I'm not seeing it as well as I'd like to.
You get me their name. I'll unmute them if you want to.
I don't know. Sean Terrell, is he here? He's a brand new Sapphire.
I got him unmuted. Say hi to Sean.
Sean.
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I recognize that voice. Hey, bro, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right. Well, first of all, I don't know if I had a chance to speak with you since that fire happened and we saw it flip over in the back office. But congratulations. We got a couple of our close friends here that are realizing. Kind of just let everyone know how long you've been in the business. How serious this thing is to you.
It's been about 3 weeks that I've been in the business, and just the information that I've gotten from yourself, the training that I've gotten from you, and just it's just real important to be that self-starter. And that's what I'm all about. And we just push forward. Just getting this great information, and cryptocurrency is just so exciting. And I can say just with everything that I've put together and just seeing like how big it is across the world. I think one of the things that you really kind of impressed upon me was just the fact of the matter that it's an international type of business, so your thinking has to grow. And so you're definitely going to be stretched with that. And I'm just glad you stretched me and let me understand from the beginning that it's bigger than I even think, or bigger than I even knew.
Well, I want to thank you and just your commitment and your belief in this process, and it's only going to get bigger. I mean, we're just at the beginning. I know we're short on time here, but Tom, I see Janie, spelled Janey, out of Nigeria. If you can unmute her.
Okay, I'll bring her up here in just a second. Give me 1 second.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, buddy.
I got him muted right now. He can't
Okay.
respond. Let me see. Jamie is on there. I just saw her. There's
Yeah.
Janie, yeah, there she is. I got her. She's unmuted.
Hey, Janie.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Okay, I know it's early in the morning. It's 5:15 in the morning over there in Nigeria.
Yeah, it is.
I want to thank you publicly because while Amarachi just went over the sapphire level, you're on your way over probably in the next day or so. And I want to just congratulate you guys publicly because you've been on the other side of the world now, pretty much another continent, but really just committed to the process. Can you just share with everyone what it was that got your attention and why you're so committed to this, even with all the economic challenges in Nigeria?
I'll first of all say thank you very much for accepting to take us up in your wings. And when you see something that is obvious, there is no need thinking twice about it. And of course, like we understood that when something is about to happen, you don't wait for others to make it happen, rather you be part of making it happen. So coming to realize that cryptocurrency has come to stay and OneCoin is the top shot. We have no need waiting for anybody to be the one that will push us, but we'll have to push ourselves and possibly push others that are still thinking if they will understand or not, and get them to understand that this is what we have to do. So it's something outstanding that we want to be part of. And by God's grace, we are making it happen. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Janie. I don't know. I know Amarachi's on his mobile. I don't know if he's reachable there. Brand new Sapphire. And, you know, Tom, we're pushing this thing because these are all brand new markets for me.
I got Amarachi unmuted.
Hey, Amarachi.
Hello, sir.
Hello, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
Good. You just heard your star pupil, Janie. You guys are doing an incredible job figuring it out. You see, when I talk about self-starters, Amarachi and Janie are those people that are just so serious about getting it done. Amarachi, I mean, what is it for you? I mean, you and I knew each other from a previous company or knew of each other from a previous company. What was it for you here?
Really is about the, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity of supporting us. When somebody's got trained day by day, having an open conversation with a millionaire mentor, you just don't have any other option than to step up. You see, when I saw OneCoin and the speed of the technology and the reality of what we have in our hands, I also read Tom's book about the 70 disruptions. And I also got to know that some of the things we overlook, television, the internet, and all that, it's such a disruption, and we'll have one in our hands. And there was nothing else one could do than to go full-time, knowing that the shelf life of this opportunity is barely 18 months as we speak, and we don't have all the time in the world to waste. So we're on this full-time, 100%. And I thank you very much for your support, and also the opportunity Tom gives us as much time as 7 times a week to be able to hear this all over and over again, to be able to present it effectively. What we're doing here basically is just to tell people, get some of this your fiat currency as much as you can for something that is looking only upwards. It can't get any better than that. Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, Amarachi, how many presentations you doing today?
4.
You sound a little embarrassed. I know your plan is 6 a day, but 4 for right now. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you, as always. I have one more time. We can acknowledge him because he has some great things going on. He is soon to be a diamond consultant this month, Mr. Anderson Chester, who just returned to Trinidad and Tobago just a few hours before I returned to Atlanta. But Mr. Chester, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Right here, loud and clear, man.
All right. Well, sir, I just like the fact that, our friends who are here in America get to hear some different accents. I'm a little disappointed I know that Natalie over in St. Martin was trying to get on the call. She's a brand new Ruby, and we didn't get her on. And, Gordon, who's he's also running for Sapphire, I'm sorry, for Diamond this month over in Suriname. We didn't get him on, but you've got some great things going on in the beautiful, beautiful, no problem, Yaman island of Jamaica, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on, and I think by now we can go ahead and announce that I'll be there with you and some other top leaders on. I'll let you tell the date.
Absolutely, man. Thank you all, Mr. Hartley, and of course Thomas and Honor, just to share for a minute here. We have some great things happening in Jamaica. Of course, in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Martin. We just came out of St. Martin a couple of days in St. Martin, and of course before that we were in Jamaica, where of course the market itself is really, really receptive to what's happening with OneCoin. We had Mr. Tony Blair and a couple of guys in Jamaica who is really excited, and of course, Mr. Hartley, your name is really known in Jamaica already. So the 10th of December, we will have a major, I think as a Pegasus in Jamaica, we will be meeting to have a major meeting there. But, the people are very happy because they all understand the movement of money. They understand the evolution of money. And of course, with respect to that, I think we all know that OneCoin is the best positioned company in the world right now to be a part of in terms of the movement of cryptocurrency. So the Caribbean is ours, and it's open. Suriname, there's a lot of stuff happening in Suriname with Mr. Gordon's tennis as well. And the thing is just happening, and we are just happy to be a part of it right about now because it's something that we know that is going to be very, very big.
Well, I want to thank you, and there's so many more. I see Patrice James on the line as well, and some others from Trinidad, and man, I see a long list of people here. We can't, Tom, I just wanted to grab a few of them just to share because, there's nothing we can do to stop this movement. Every so often, and I think the analogy is perfect, that a rock or a stone or a boulder may fall in a river or a stream, but all that will happen is that the current, which is already moving, will go around the obstacle. And you've heard tonight, Tom, from a handful of individuals that there ain't no stopping us, man. And I'm crazy like that. If somebody wanted to know how many IMAs, how many personally sponsored, you don't want to know. Because the question you should be asking is, how much does Ed sleep? See, that was Anderson right there, who says, because he knows Ed don't sleep. Yeah. You can sleep when the whole movement is over, okay? Because we have a short window. Tom, you were there with me when the founder and the creator of OneCoin gave a statement as to the time frame, okay? Knowing what you know now, if you know what's about to happen in a certain time frame, sleep, relax, sit back and chill? For what? No, I'm telling you, fortunes are going to be made in the next 18 months, no matter what obstacles, no matter what opponents. And don't think, Tom, that those obstacles, they ain't trying to call me too with their foolishness. There was one ringing my phone while we were on this call. Yep. I chat with him. You mean what? Really? That means you don't pay attention to the world economic scheme. You see, I pay attention to the world. I pay attention to the fact that governments can change and control the destiny based on monetary distribution and availability just like that. That means that while the world is looking at the election of one country, another country will retire denominations of their currency and leave people without their access to money. And you don't understand what we're doing? Silly. Yep. Silly. guys, you know, this is, if I could do one thing, if I had a genie in a bottle, I would ask for 28 to 30 hours in a day, 8 days a week, 40 days a month for the next 18 months. Because I got a lot of stuff to do. Oh, and if it's possible, you know, when I was double booked, supposed to be in one country and then in another country, and I'm looking and saying, how am I going to do that? Well, Tom, I learned a lot from you. I sent videos to, I did videos, you know, to where I couldn't be. But guys, this is no joke. This is no playtime. And I'm thankful to be at this place at this time in my life because many of us, like it or not, we're going down in history. You know, we're going down in history for bringing something to the surface that some people didn't want to believe in at first, but that people like Tom McMurrain with your book, Jay with his book, Don Tapscott, his book, people who are out there just fighting for the attention and the awareness, because the distractions may take you off course right now. However, when each of the banks who we operate under, they then roll out their cryptocurrencies and say you have no choice but to use it, just like they did in Sweden, just like they rolled out cryptocurrency by the government of Senegal, as well as Tunisia. And then you're like, but that's what that crazy guy, Edward Hartley, was flying all over the world talking about. We thought he was crazy. We thought he was loco en de cabeza. They were speaking Spanish when I was getting on the plane. Loco de la cabeza. No. That's what they say about visionaries, Tom. So I congratulate you, my friend. I'm proud to be your friend. I'm proud to be your ally. I'm proud to be your partner. And I appreciate everything that you do when I'm off U.S. soil so that we can continue to really raise that flag and that banner and save lives and change people's futures forever.
You got that right. You know, we always say, you know, if you're a one step ahead of everybody, you're a genius. But if you're 2 steps ahead of everybody, they think you're freaking crazy. I think we're about 1.5 right now. So what a great opportunity to spend with you, Ed. And thank you for sharing the success of your leaders. That's one thing that we love doing, is recognizing our leaders. And Ed, we had an amazing meeting in Dallas with Lucille Shannon. She's just on fire with Dr. Al Hambrick, her partner. They put over 65 people in a room, and we joked. We said nobody left. And I said that's because they couldn't, because they had to crawl over each other. It was so packed. And then we went up to Colorado Springs, and Erica and Andrew. They just crushed it, man. They had 50 people in the room, and you know we've got Atlanta coming up on December 1st at the Capitol Grill. We've got LA coming up.
Which one?
Well done, Woody.
Okay.
You gonna be in town? You gonna come?
You know I can get there.
We're gonna have a nice steak dinner up there, a steak lunch for. It's gonna be a nice session. But excited about that.
You know I know where that place is. I like to hang out right next door.
Oh yeah.
You know away.
Yep. And so we got
I like to hang out at 52 Tuesday night at 52.
Yep. So December 2nd, we've got Los Angeles. December 3rd, we've got Las Vegas at the Trump. And we're going to be jumping up to Toronto on December 6th. And we're still looking for a location if we can pull off the one up in Calgary. But excited about what's going on with you and your travels. Also, for the Caribbean group that's on here, I'm doing a meeting in St. Thomas on December 12th as well. So I'll be in St. Thomas from the 8th to the 13th, and we're going to have an amazing meeting in St. Thomas. So anybody that wants to come over and get a New Currency University presentation that's in the Caribbean, St. Thomas on the 12th. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I think, by the way, I'm going back to Dallas on December 17th as well. So that'll be the last meeting I'm going to do for the year. I say that, it's probably not true, but December 7th.
I'm thinking, Tom. If I'm in Jamaica on the 10th, that means I got to fly over St. Thomas by the 12th.
But they got parachutes, dude. Grab parachute.
I have to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be back in Atlanta for my birthday on the 16th, so I got to be here.
Yeah. Well, my wife's on the 15th. Sounds like we need to have a party. So.
Yeah. So then of course we have we're doing a promotion for our group, our Africa and Asia group, where they'll be at the big convention over in the Philippines on Monday, December 19th, which I think you saw that with our CEO just announced it. And I know you're going to be doing some work with the CEO. Please, Tom, tell us a little bit more about that. Don't be bashful, young fella.
Well, I got a nice invitation from the company to come speak in Sweden at a media event, one of 6 speakers with the CEO, Pablo Munoz, and I'll be doing a 45-minute presentation on the Talk the One Thing and sharing the 7th disruption in Sweden. And it was a real honor to be invited to come over for that and be one of the 6 speakers. So that'll be January 14th. So excited about that. And I've been invited also to speak at a university over in Europe as well while I'm over there. So we're gonna be tearing it up, folks. Exciting. But Ed, thank you for your time and joining us tonight. And I know that Ed and I will be connecting over the next couple of weeks, and I look forward to our time. When Ed and I sit down, like at a Starbucks, you might sit down for like an hour. We sit down for like 6 to catch up. And so
it's always a pleasure, my friend. I look forward to it. And thank you. Your committed followers, I just can't say it enough what they have with you. And you're a blessing, and I thank you for all that you're doing. Your strength. I pray your strength as you travel, and I uplift you, man, because you are a cornerstone, and you may not get heralded enough. I think the January 14th in Sweden is just due for what you have contributed to this company. So I want you to know that hey, anytime you need me to carry your bag, brother, I'm right there with you.
The feeling is definitely mutual, man. Great having you on board. And well, I'm gonna wrap it up here, folks, and thank you, Ed, for your time. But we're gonna kind of wrap it up in an interesting way, because I'd like to take 5 more minutes to really tell you what's going on, with what we're doing. We've obviously got a great system. We've got a way of connecting with people around the world. We've got committed leaders. We've got self-starters. We have people like Bobby Sagar up there, and Lucille and Erica, and the people that are putting on these meetings, Digna out there working in LA. I mean, y'all realize there's probably less than 50 people involved in our business out in LA, in a city like LA. It's just insane. We got a great group up in Santa Barbara with JP, and we've got a new group, a Vietnamese group that just exploded after the Dallas meeting, doing probably close to 80 or 90,000 in volume just in one day coming out of the Dallas meeting. And we're going to be opening up Austin, Texas in a very big way after the first of the year. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But we got a lot of work to do. And I also want to recognize Mark Halbig and Pete Vreeland up in Greenville. They put 80 people in a room, and it was a very successful presentation for them. And I know that their business is just blown up. But we will be putting on a lot of Evites. You'll see the Eventbrites. If you have heard some of the meetings tonight and you need the Eventbrite, you can just send me an email to coinlifestyle@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to get back to everybody and make sure you have those Eventbrites. But I just got off the road, so the next 2 days I'll be getting caught up on a lot of things. And I just, all I can tell you is you're at the right place at the right time. If you've been looking for an opportunity as big as the internet and you're interested in digital currency, I know we didn't talk a lot about digital currency tonight, but sometimes we don't. I just think you ought to say, wow, there's something going on here and I want to be a part of it. Get back with the person who invited you. We got an awesome compensation plan, but you know what? We've got something more than a compensation plan. We've got a movement. We've got an evolution. It's not whether you're going to be using digital currency. It's a matter of when you're going to be using digital currency. They say that this will be the fastest adopted technology in the history of the world, faster than the internet. We're looking at full adoption of digital currency by 2026. And you saw what Napster, you saw what Netflix did to Redbox in no time flat. And I got to tell you what, you're getting ready to see what blockchain-based technology and digital currency is going to do to the banking industry, because they're just not going to be able to move fast enough to catch what's going on with the people's movement and the people's money. And we're building an economy, folks, while they're sitting back trying to figure out how they can charge you more fees. We're building an economy that's making you wealthy while they're sitting back to figure out how they can keep you from pulling out too much of your money out of the banks. And I know that some of you have gone to the banks and you have tried to take out your money, or you've tried to wire your money and they've acted like it's theirs. That's when the game has changed, folks. That's when you need to start going, something ain't right, you know, and you ought to be looking for that plan B, and you ought to be looking for a way to create wealth and give yourself the ability to transact business regardless of what happens to the banking industry or the economy or whatever. I've got too much responsibility. I can't look at my family and say, I don't know why we can only pull out $50 a day from the ATM machine. I've got $500,000 in the bank. I don't know why they won't let us have it. You know, don't be that foolish, okay? That's what happened in Greece, you know, and a lot of people in Greece never thought that would happen. But we have an opportunity right now for you to learn digital currency. It'd be like me telling you back in 91, you have the opportunity to learn about the internet that's going to transform the world. And some of you went, I'm too busy flipping houses, or I'm too busy going to college, or I'm too busy, you know, trying to pay off the house and the BMW I can't afford. I mean, that was the big thing in the 90s, was keeping up with the Joneses, if you remember, you know, and so many people tried to keep up with the Joneses and they missed the greatest opportunity of their life. And we have a business right now that can fix so many people's problems. In fact, you all saw the recent interview with Richard Branson. Richard Branson came out and said, the billionaire Richard Branson said, he believes that blockchain technology holds the secret to fixing the world's economy. And I just thought that was an amazing statement to hear a guy like that say that. And I just think that, you know, when you really dig into this thing, and if you will commit 1 hour to watching videos, I guarantee you, you're going to lose sleep. I guarantee you, you're going to want to be a part of what we're doing. And, you know, people say, well, what are you doing? We're educating people. I mean, I look at Beverly, Washington up there. I see, you know, all the people that are on here that are just crushing it and becoming some of the highest paid teachers in the world, sharing with people how they can fix their financial problems, how they can grow wealth. And I know a lot of you are like, wow, the U.S. stock market's at an all-time high. Why the heck is my 401k at an all-time low? You know, a lot of you are wondering why. It's because they're feeing you to death. They're beating you with fees, and they're moving your money around, and they're telling you to buy and sell, and they're absolutely raking you over the coals. And you know, 93% of people don't make money in the stock market. I mean, the house wins 93% of the time. And I tell you what, folks, it's time, if you're going to become financially independent, it's time for you to get a financial education. We've always joked in this industry that, you know, oh, hey, Tom, the month is going to run out before the money does, or the money's going to run out before the month does. Some of you are faced with something more serious. You're faced with the saying that, hey, Tom, my retirement fund's going to run out before my retirement does. And a lot of you are going, what am I going to do? Well, cryptocurrency is going to answer that question for you. And I just tell every single one of you, you can wait until all 76 million baby boomers are in retirement and on the government payroll. You can wait for the government to print an extra $15 trillion. You can wait for your dollar to lose another 50% of its value, and you won't even get it. All you'll see is, dang, milk is $7 a gallon. And you're not going to know why. It's because your currency is losing value. And I don't know about you, but the idea of working harder for less is just not part of my game plan. But I am all about working harder for more. I'm like Ed. I don't sleep. I can't. I mean, I've canceled so many of my hobbies. I love what I'm doing. I feel like we are on the precipice of one of the greatest changes in the history of the world as it relates to finance. And I just don't see how you can say, I have time for TV, you know, have time to even go to sports games. As much as I love sports, I've pretty much eliminated sports out of my habit, except for my son's football game, you know. And I just want every one of you to know that you have got an awesome opportunity. You've got awesome leadership. You've got great trainers. You've got a great system. And you've got a moment in time that if you miss this window, I can't promise there will be another window as big as this one during all of our lifetimes. And I'm looking at all of your all's faces, and I can see your approximate ages. I can tell you that this one is going to be the doozy. It's going to be the big one. And I just hope that you'll take advantage of it. But I want to thank all of you for being online with us tonight. Get involved in the digital currency business. Get educated. Get experienced. Get engaged. And dang it, get wealthy with us. You know, there are people making serious money doing what we're doing. And I know we didn't answer all those questions tonight, but trust me, we got videos that'll fill in all the details for you. So just get back with the person who invited you. Thanks for being online tonight. What a great crowd. Congratulations on the success of your all's teams. And if you had people on here, hopefully we've touched them or really let them know what it takes to make it in this business. And I think Ed laid the law tonight. I think you all really hear what it takes to make it. And if you're not doing 10% of that, bump it up to 20%, and you'll be able to make a ton of money in this business with us. But great having everybody online. Thanks for sharing your stories. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for letting us run over. Time is not an issue when success is involved, just so you know. So as I always say, success is not convenient always. But tonight, I think you got some wisdom that will change all of your lives. So let me unmute you so you can say goodnight. We'll see you, let's see, I don't even know what day it is. It's Tuesday night. We'll see you Thursday at 1 p.m. is our next webinar, and Thursday at 10 p.m. Excited to have you all on board. Oh, no, we will not be having Thursday because of Thanksgiving. So there will be no webinars on Thursday in the U.S. I will put up recordings. So I do want to make that clear. So we're going to take Thursday off, which is unusual. And I know some people around the world don't have Thanksgiving, but I will put up a recording. However, if somebody internationally would like to host the call, I will turn it over to you. So have a great night, everyone. We'll let you know what's going on. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving to all your families, and thanks for your commitment. What a great year. And next year, I got to tell you what, we are just so blessed. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Have my shirt on, Tom.